Over the years, Team Red Bull and Max Verstappen have made an impact like none other in Formula One. However, the three-time F1 champion is in a tough spot.
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
Because of the very team he represents, and it's all because of internal issues. From the recent loss of the Constructors' World Championship to pretty much handing the driver's title to McLaren, Max is looking for a way to rise above it all, but the nightmare doesn't seem to be coming to an end. From the beginning of the 2024 season, problems in the camp emerged as Christian Horner got involved in internal investigations. A female colleague accused Horner of coercive and inappropriate behavior, forcing the parent company of the Red Bull racing team to look into the allegations.
I woke up, I found her, that's all I know. Say it. I woke up, I found her, that's all I know.
I woke up, I found her, that's all I know.
On February 5th, 2024, the accusations became public, and instantly, Horner denied the claims, pretending none of this circus was happening, dodging questions from the media like a seasoned pro, and showing off his very happy wife in the paddock.
Die funktionieren im Moment nicht. That's harassment.
An external barrister also stepped in for an impartial inquiry. 2 weeks later, the FIA also released a statement saying that they will not comment on the issue unless the investigation has been completed and the outcome is made public. This put Team Red Bull in deep waters, and putting the accusations to rest was the top priority. So on the 28th of February, Red Bull announced that the investigation had cleared Horner and the complaint was dismissed. Horner also told Sky Sports News that the allegations were false, and he's just thankful that the whole debacle had come to an end.
I did no such thing anywhere.
But they hadn't. On March 16th, the accuser appealed, claiming that the investigation's findings were wrong. For the next 5 months, the arguments and investigations continued, adding to the tension within the team, which was reaching its boiling point. Horner was put in the media spotlight numerous times. However, luckily for him, the appeal was concluded in his favor on August 8th, 2024.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Although this part was over, there were worse things in store for Red Bull and Max. In May 2023, Adrian Newey, the mastermind designer behind the championship-winning Red Bull car, resigned from the team. This was a huge loss for the team, but according to Newey, it was time for him to take a break. Although I would say that he was done with the power play and politics within Red Bull, and he wanted out before more controversy would come out and ruin his reputation in the process.
Let me go.
Adrian's resignation turned out to be just the beginning.
What do I do? Because when I decided to kind of stop with Red Bull, then at that point in time, genuinely had no idea.
On August 1st, 2024, sporting director Jonathan Wheatley also announced that he was going to leave Red Bull at the end of the season. His next destination? Audi Formula One. Is that because of the secrets he brings with him? We just don't know.
I'll take one secret formula.
What we do know is that Wheatley has taken up the position as Audi's Formula One team principal. And while that's a nice change for him, it's not easy for Team Red Bull to find a replacement.
We need a replacement, now.
Verstappen's race engineer, Giampiero Lambiase, has been selected to step up and take on Wheatley's role when he leaves next year. Nonetheless, Wheatley's 18 years in the team have played a major part in their victories.
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion! You're the triple world champion, Sebastian Vettel!
Sebastian Vettel is the 2013 world champion.
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion!
Max Verstappen, two-time world champion.
Max, you are a three-time world champion. That's unbelievable, mate. Absolutely unbelievable.
And now that he's leaving, they're in a difficult position.
What can we do?
Both of these losses were hard enough to swallow, but little did they know another huge heartbreak was right around the corner.
No!
In September 2024, shortly after McLaren was crowned the 2024 Singapore Grand Prix champions,
Himself on the rostrum once again this year.
Will Courtenay also announced that he would be leaving Team Red Bull soon.
See you later, folks.
As the strategy chief since 2010, Will's contributions to Red Bull's success need no introduction. He has led Max and the team to become the reigning world champions, but now it is time for him to move on. What probably hurts Red Bull the most is the fact that Courtenay was leaving the team to take up a position in their rival team, McLaren. He has accepted an offer from McLaren, and in mid-2026, Courtenay will be McLaren's new sporting director.
Red Bull? The hell is Red Bull?
Will isn't the only member leaving Red Bull to take up a new position in Team McLaren. Back in May 2023, when not a soul alive could take on Max, Rob Marshall, the chief engineering officer for Red Bull, became the technical director for McLaren. Makes you wonder why McLaren has made such an insane jump, doesn't it? But perhaps the most shocking resignation for Red Bull, and especially for Max Verstappen, was that of Lee Stevenson. Since 2016, Stevenson has been Verstappen's first mechanic, and they have a close bond of friendship.
You were my brother.
However, on the 29th of March 2024, Stevenson announced that he would be leaving Red Bull as well and taking up the role of the chief mechanic at Sauber.
That doesn't sound at all downgraded.
At this point, 4 key team members have left Red Bull, putting them in a dangerous situation. To ensure that no other members leave the team, Red Bull has renewed a contract with Paul Monahan, the chief engineer.
You stay right here.
However, does this substitute for the highly experienced people they've lost? I don't think so. Horner recently made a statement about hiring 200 people for Mercedes, but that got community noted by the Big Bad Wolf shortly after.
Hello, Toto.
It looks like Horner is doing everything in his power to hold on to good people, while also scaring them away.
He knows in his heart he gave his best shot, and he's had a great career. He's had a great... Unfortunately, the next chapter wasn't to be.
Psychology has a term for that, doesn't it? Team Red Bull lost its lead in the Constructors' World Champion for the first time since the Spanish Grand Prix in 2022.
Still a way go.
Surely it's not the team's dynamics. All the blame is on Christian Horner's shoulders because he's the man in charge.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature.
And well, it makes sense, although private internal investigations might prove otherwise.
I burned most of the evidence.
According to Jos Verstappen, Horner is not the right man to lead the team forward because he just doesn't have what it takes. And for one, I actually agree.
Stupid.
At the 2024 Italian Grand Prix, Red Bull went from scoring 3-1-2 results to qualifying in P7 and P8. They don't have the fastest car anymore. It's turned into a shopping cart being pushed through Walmart by my grandma 5 minutes after she broke her hip.
Oh, broke my hip.
Max already warned Horner about this a long time ago.
The car was very slow. It was not even bad to drive, it was just slow. So we really made a lot of changes today.
Because he knew what the car was. How does he say it again? Oh yeah, fucked.
So let's watch our language going forward.
At the beginning of the 2024 season, Max told the team that the car's balance was wonky.
So as soon as I went into qualifying, I knew the car was...
Obviously, this was never made public because it was an internal affair, and no team wanted to broadcast its potential weaknesses. But Red Bull entirely ignored this issue. They did not listen to Verstappen's input because they were already dominating at the start of the season.
I can't hear you! I can't hear you!
This paints a pretty good picture of how Horner refuses to listen to the drivers who know and feel the car they have to drive, the issues it has, and how serious they are. On the other hand, the obviously unbiased Brit Mark Blundell still believes that Horner is the perfect person to lead the team. While speaking to the British tabloid Express, he said, "I think, actually, it's time for Christian Horner to use all of his ability and his depth of knowledge now to put together a Grand Prix winning team again." The problem is, can he put together such a team when he doesn't even listen to his drivers? Moreover, can he achieve this feat without Adrian Newey? Can he find a proper replacement for Lee Stevenson? As things stand right now, there's no chance. I'm more likely to find a dinosaur in my backyard.
A dinosaur!
Max Verstappen also said this when he lost by 22 seconds in the race preceding the Italian Grand Prix. While talking to the media, he said, "Would I like to win it? Yes, of course, but it's not in my hands with the performance of the car. Because I just try to do the best I can, try to give feedback, try to make it faster. If that's going to be enough to end the year, I don't know." He literally accepted the fact that he might not win the title this year because Lando Norris's McLaren is considerably faster than the Red Bull car.
Hurry! They're catching up!
Yet Horner has not taken Verstappen's suggestions and concerns seriously, and it might cost them the championship. Adding to the strain is his teammate, Mr. Sponsor and Merchandise Sales, Perez, who crashes more than your computer when you've forgotten to save your work. With the amount of races he spends at the back of the field and Max fighting other teams on grid by himself,
Man, is this guy blind? For f***ing sake, man! What the f***?
they'd be better off with only presenting one driver. They say he'll announce his pension after Mexico. Who knows, he might break the Red Bull's curse of bad-performing drivers being fired mid-season by stepping away himself. At least he still has Horner's support. This is exactly why Jos Verstappen, Max's father, cheery as always, strongly supports his opinion of Horner and says that he's not the right person to lead the team.
Find someone else then.
Now, we all know that Horner and Verstappen Sr. have been rivals for some time.
Of course, if he does want a Verstappen for next year, then I guess Jos is potentially available.
They've been in a war of words numerous times, and Max has had to play peacekeeper for a bunch of adults who are supposed to make him focus on racing on multiple occasions. A few months ago, a heated exchange between the two occurred when Horner tried to block Jos Verstappen from driving the Red Bull RB8 at the Austrian Grand Prix parade. According to Horner, it would not be a good look for Red Bull if people saw Jos Verstappen driving one of their cars. He approached the members of Red Bull's senior management with this concern, but his objections were overruled. However, as soon as Verstappen Sr. became aware of this, he did what you'd expect from a hothead and pulled out of the parade. Because of this, Max Verstappen was bombarded with questions about what he thought of the issue, and finally he had to come out and speak. Max said that his dad was asked to drive the car by Red Bull itself, and then he found out that Horner didn't want him to drive. He also noted that he understood his dad's opinion because, let's be honest, it's insulting, and Horner did this just because he doesn't have a friendly relationship with Jos. Obviously, it was going to end this way. Max believes that this could have been easily avoided if Horner had not intervened to make things weird and insulting.
Because at the end of the day, he gets asked to drive the car, finds out that he's not wanted to drive the car. Well, my dad, actually, he doesn't care about driving the car, but he got asked and said, please, do it for the fans, Dutch fans, blah, blah, blah. Red Bull, we have a great relationship with, home track. So I understand. On the other hand, I'm here, of course, to focus on the performance side of things. So I want a good relationship with everyone. But of course, this scenario could have been avoided.
This rivalry between his father and the team principal is very damaging to Max's reputation. He's caught in the crossfire. And well, I think it has a lot to do with Horner's attitude. He's putting his best driver in a complicated situation where he has to either side with his father or stay loyal to the team. And since he's probably scared to be left at a gas station again, we all know who he'll choose. Because of this, Max Verstappen has also started to avoid any questions about his future at Team Red Bull. In an interview on the 27th of June 2024, Max was asked whether he would still be driving for Red Bull in 2025. He avoided the question multiple times, but eventually he had to give a straight answer. He said, "Okay, yes, we're already also working on next year's car, I think when you're very focused on that means that you're also driving for the team." Now, there's no telling if he will leave Red Bull after 2025 and join another team as most wanted driver on the grid. Toto has been eyeing him up like a dog staring at a juicy steak. Aston Martin will work with Honda and just signed Adrian Newey. Although that would be a shame for Alonso. Nobody could replace Stroll, right? Max's contract with Red Bull expires in April 2028, but according to BBC News, a clause in his contract allows him to leave anytime he wants to. But that's not on his mind right now. There are more pressing matters, like his community service penalty given by the FIA swearing police.
No comment.
With Max's way of expressing himself, he will have at least 20 hours of extra work every racing weekend.
Community service?
During the Singapore GP press conference, Max lashed out at the car because it had balance issues and was slow. The problem was that he dropped the F-bomb and it landed him in trouble with Daddy FIA.
I went into qualifying, I knew the car was...
Although he was not fined, the FIA told him to accomplish some work of public interest. In other words, he got community service, man. Many drivers were absolutely stunned by this. His buddy Lando Norris said,
I think it's pretty unfair. I don't agree with any of it. So.
Even Your Highness, 6-time world champion, yeah, you heard me right, Sir Lewis Hamilton stood up for Max and said,
I think it's a bit of a joke, to be honest.
And that he hoped Max would refuse to do the punishment. Verstappen also talked about the issue, saying that he was just being punished for setting a precedent because Ben Sulayem, the FIA's president, said last year that he didn't want drivers to swear in the car. Interestingly, Sulayem's interview from last year in which he made this rule was also scrutinized after Max's penalty. In the interview, he said that he wanted to differentiate the sport from rap music.
You did. What did you say?
His exact words were, "We're not rappers, you know. They say the F word how many times per minute? We are not on that. That's them and we are us." The comparison with rappers made Lewis Hamilton angry, and the Mercedes driver said that Ben Sulayem used stereotypical language with a racial element. Since most of the rappers are black, Ben Sulayem's comment that we are not like them is extremely offensive. Max is fighting against everyone and doing it alone. He's the one who found what's wrong with the car when no one else did. He defended Helmut Marko throughout all the politics. He keeps the RB on the track while Perez keeps crashing it, slashing into the budget of new updates to get that monster of a car to speed up. He's choosing his strategy under the pressure of losing positions. He's fighting two McLaren drivers and occasionally his old rival, Sir Hammy. He keeps his dad and Horner from brawling with each other. The FIA bullies him and gets all the nonsense of the biased British media, or as Trump likes to call it,
fake news.
All that's left to say is, come on Max, you're a champion. Take home that 4th trophy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi for the final race of this season.